Okay, welcome one and all to the first episode of The Last Shire. We're starting off here with our lovely, uncharismatic half-elf rogue, Nopheria. And on our little introduction that we did last week, she managed to catch a prisoner after going to go investigate some bandits at a covered bridge on the borders of the last Shire in the world. It is the evening of the second day of summer now. After her return, she got paid by Sheriff Matham for bringing back a prisoner as a bounty, but he wants to keep her involved in the investigation because this is still an ongoing situation that exists outside of his jurisdictional borders. And so we're going to start off. We're in an interrogation chamber. Stone walls. The Civil Hall is one of the few buildings in the entire town/city of Hampshire that's designed with full-sized peoples in mind, since most of this city is designed for halflings. When he was leading you in, there's a couple of empty cells, and there's one cell that had a passed-out drunk gnome on a bench who kind of blurrily looks at y'all as you pass by, and it takes you down to a chamber. Has a couple of goblin guards strap your prisoner down, who is a human farmer by the name of, as I recall, Wallach Dwiddle. And surrounded by all these implementations of torture, and that he's been put on a stretching rack, although it hasn't been activated yet. Basically how this is going to play out is you can ask him 5 questions, and you get to roll with advantage on either an intimidation or a persuasion roll, as you see fit, to see if you can get a honest answer out of the guy. So you get to ask him 5 questions. I have a bunch of different information written down, and I'll just kind of see how I can jigger it into how you frame your questions. Or if you ask something that I hadn't occurred.
Do you like ham sandwiches?
Yes, he does. Okay, you've used up one of your 5 questions.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. What's your favorite color? Liar!
You said intimidation or what?
Or persuasion, or any other kind of charisma-based skill. Deception, if you could figure out a way, what angle would you be using deception to get him to talk? But
Sure.
that's also a possibility.
Okay.
Thankfully, he's just a simple commoner, so your target DCs aren't going to be very high. And like I said, since the sheriff's there with all his, it's kind of framed to the prisoner that, tell her what she wants to know, or we're going to put you to the rack and the Iron Maiden, and maybe make him listen to a little Sepultura and Motley Crue. So...
Okay, so I want to ask, I'm assuming that there is
Well, what do you remember from what you did here from last week?
I went to the bridge. I saw them talking to a dude that got on a horse and rode off.
Mm-hmm.
He told them not to kill people. We're just trying to capture them. And they were like, they're farmers.
We're not...
I killed his friend.
Okay. Actually, from what he oversaid, you might have killed his brother-in-law, because he said something about, he was married to his sister.
Okay, well, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so my assumption is that they've been tasked to guard the bridge and capture anybody that tries to go across the bridge. And so what I want to ask him is the person for whom you are guarding the bridge threatening you in some way, that if you don't guard the bridge, something bad will happen to you?
How do you want to use persuasion, intimidation, or deception, and how your character?
Well,
it seems fairly straightforward. So persuasion.
Persuasion.
Yeah.
I'm playing like more of a good cop angle. I'm like, are you under duress, sir?
All right. Well, you'll have whatever your persuasion modifier is, which will be your crappy charisma plus 2 for having the skill as a proficiency. So I believe you get a +1 when you roll.
Yes, that's correct.
So roll 2 die 20 since you have advantage, and you can take the higher of the 2 rolls and then add 1 to that. And you don't want to know the target DC, correct?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not like that. Well,
you might want to re-roll that other one since it's a little crooked. So a 6, and what's that other one? A 9?
That's a 10.
A 10? An 11?
So now it's a...
Okay, and your question was, is someone forcing him to do this? Yeah.
Well, the question is he going to be punished in some way if he doesn't do it? Is whoever is getting him to do that, are they threatening him in some way, is what I'm asking.
I was looking over my bullet points to see which one might best describe that. Okay, a woman named Greyheart Half-Human came to the town a couple weeks ago and has ensorcelled the children of the town, ordering the townsfolk to help her kidnap travelers on the road and prepare them for transport. She, after forcing the town to comply to her demands because she's kind of Pied Piper their children, she then took off south into the fields with the kids, and so they're largely doing this on hopes of, being reunited with their children. But it's sorcery-based kidnapping. It's not like she's holding them all under a knife. It's like they're all voluntarily thinking they're having fun, and they're the whole reason why they're wearing the costumes is because she got the kids to start wearing the costumes, telling them that they would grow up to be mongrel men if they dress like animals, and then they made their parents do it too.
I see. All right.
So that's 1 out of 5.
She's asking them to kidnap people for transport to where?
You want to roll?
What did you say was over here?
Further down the road is eventually you come to the forest called the Green World, and then within the Green World there's a dwarven territory called Dwarfheim, and beyond the forest is a big mountain range called the Mid-Range Mountains, and that's where there's a duchy called Rendariot, a remnant state from the original Old Kingdom, and then beyond those mountains is just the wasteland of the Old Kingdom.
Okay, so does he know what she wants the people for, or where she is transporting them?
He did say that they went south. He took the children south into the fields.
Children south into the fields.
So if they did that, they would have gone that way.
Right.
Which is still a big, open, largely uncharted territory for you.
Right.
Coincidentally. But roll if you want to get him to answer. You're going to be able to answer the question.
Okay.
So roll with advantage. 2 and what?
19.
He has no idea, but you can tell he's honest, and he's kind of frustrated by the fact that, aside that no idea where they took off with all the kids, and all he knows is that they're supposed to, after they've gathered up 44 prisoners, The cloaked man, whose name is Enric Deadhand, will lead them to transport the prisoners to rendezvous with Greyheart and the children.
Okay, well that's half my question. The question was not where did she take the kids, where is she trying to transport the prisoners?
No, that's what I'm saying. The prisoners are to be transported, and they're
Yeah.
supposed to go down to meet
Yeah,
her and the kids, but he
that was
doesn't
half my
know.
question.
Deadhand is the guy who knows there, because he's the one who's supposed. The guy you saw in the cloak.
Yeah.
He's the one that's supposed to lead them to meet her. But that's after
Yeah.
they've gathered enough prisoners.
But that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do with those people after you kidnap them? Okay, so she wants 44 people.
Mm-hmm.
And only after they have captured 44 people
Yeah.
are they to send them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was the other half of my question?
Where and why?
Oh, why? Why? Yeah, why?
He also does not understand.
Yeah, like, I don't remember hearing anything in that first conversation either about why you can't kill them when they cross the bridge.
He describes them as a witch. Describes her as a witch. He was just their original. Well, I guess you can ask about like what their specific orders were if you want to like know why they like not supposed to be interfering with people coming out the other direction, or why they're not supposed to be pursuing people into the Freeshire.
Oh.
But you only got 3 questions left, so do you want that suck up one of your 3 remaining questions?
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know that I have 3 more questions, but.
Well, there's certainly more information to be had.
Okay. I don't know what though. So.
Well, think about what you've heard, like expand on questions on any of that kind of stuff, perhaps. If you can't think of anything else.
When is the guy going to come back and check on them again?
Roll. Good enough. You got a 17 on one of them. Dead Hand comes out twice a day to check on them. Once in around noon to see if they've taken any prisoners, and then he'll come again in mid-evening after dark, right around the same time that y'all are having this interrogation, actually, to also make sure that like if they have anyone that needs to be transported or if they need any resupply or anything, because they're supposed to be laying low.
All right, so presumably he's already found the corpse of the other guy. Or is doing that right now.
Yeah.
And he...
You got 2 left.
Yeah. So... He's found the guy, presumably, or is about to. So he'll know that somebody fought back. There's one missing dude. And no prisoners. So presumably he's going to go get reinforcements from the farm. Alright. Is there something I can say to the next farmers that he's going to have guarding the place to tell them that I'm friendly and trying to help them so that they won't kill me?
Whoa. A 4 and a what?
8.
He's kind of like a fuck you, lady. There's nothing you can do to cause us to betray our children. We got to do what we got to do to get our kids back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You have one last question you can ask him as the night wears on.
Okay, well, obviously I cannot impersonate these farmers.
Do you want to consult with Matham?
Oh. Sure. But
Well, it's just like before you formulate last question, this is kind of like a way to like in game feel like give you a tip because it's a character that's there. But he would suggest that it would help if you had more of a logistical idea of exactly what's in this town before anyone goes riding up there.
in their town that they live in.
Yeah, Freeman's Farms. Like what all is there, minus the children. Exactly. Like, how many people are we talking about here in this town?
Uh-huh.
This is a suggestion for a last question. If you can't think of something else you'd like to know. But from a tactical point, it was a guy who is used to like, well, if I gotta send some riders out here or something, how many pairs of handcuffs are we gonna need?
Yeah. Alright, I guess, I mean, it's not really a way to phrase. How many able-bodied men are still in your town? Or fighting women? Like,
How many people are in town serving this witch, Greyheart, or something like that?
okay, that's a good question. Yeah. Let's ask that.
Roll.
17. This one?
The town was originally about 30 to 35 people. Half of it were kids, so that leaves about maybe 15, 16, 17 adults that were in town. After the witch left, some of the people, adults, tried to rebel a little bit against Dead Hand's authority over them, but fearing the repercussions to their kids, the rest of the adults ganged up on them and tossed them down the town well. So there's 6 dead people in a well and about 14 villagers. No. There's about 10 villagers left. 6 people dumped in a well. The priest is dead from the little town temple.
Does that include the guy I killed? Were those 2 guys 2 of the 10?
9, because also minus the preacher too. So that's down. There's 9 people left who are actively serving Greyheart, and 2 of them are dealt with because one's dead, and you got the other one in jail right now. So there'd be 7 left at town, plus Dead Hand if he's still there.
Right.
And whatever prisoners they have taken that they have there in the town too.
How are my hand-to-hand skills if I didn't have weapons?
You're not a monk, so not very good. They're basically really the only hand-to-hand trained character class.
Yeah, but so like I could kick somebody in the shin.
Yeah, it wouldn't do
Try
much
to run
damage. Yeah, it wouldn't. It's. I'd have to like look up what their things on it are, but it's not an effective attack, at least by the rules of this game. Mm-hmm. Like, why do you want to know? Like, whose shin are you planning on kicking?
I don't
save
know,
the
just
day?
if I just wanted to run away.
Uh-huh.
I could.
Yeah, you're allowed to flee.
Yeah, but like, poke them in the eyeballs and then run away. There's just,
That puts yourself at risk of a counterattack.
I see.
By getting up close enough to do that, so yeah.
I see. All right. My thought was that the easiest way to figure out what the fuck is going on is to go back up to that bridge and get captured. Hide my weapons somewhere so I can go back for them later, but that means I have to be able to escape capture at some point and run away.
Yeah.
And if I have no weapons,
Yeah.
and I'm not good at kicking people in the shins to run away,
Yeah.
then that might be really stupid, because I might just get killed. Because I'm tied up with no weapons.
Also, now that they're alerted that something's happening like that, so making an assumption that they were even going to send another team back there, or that they're going to be
Well, they got to kidnap people from somewhere.
Yeah, but they're largely seem to be taking people that are coming westward into the Shire, and not so much grabbing people heading eastward out of the Shire.
Oh.
You didn't ask, but like the basic gist is just from the tactical, they're trying not to disturb the one major like organized land that's right on their doorstep. That's something going on, so they're grabbing people that won't be noticed, theoretically, because they're people who haven't made it into the Shire. So people who have no idea in the Shire, they have no idea that this person's been kidnapped because they never made it here. But if you're grabbing people from the Shire or going in there and making a nuisance of yourself in the Shire, it's because the two dwarves escaped one of their attacks. This is the only reason why anyone knows. This has been going on for like a week now or something.
Okay. How does the wait? How do they know? The dwarf? What?
Okay. A couple of dwarves were coming down this road. They get ambushed. Maybe a couple of them in their little like wagon train died, but two of them managed to escape, get across the bridge, and make it all the way here. And that's how these people know that there was attacks going on. You were sent to go check out the bandits.
But I wasn't exactly sure of their story.
Well, you never talked to them.
Well, I didn't know that was an option at the time. I thought they were just like people I'd heard of. Like, oh yeah, they're right there. I didn't like.
Well, as of now, yes, they still kind of are in that category. You could, as investigative, kind of purposes, go and seek them out to get. Like,
I mean, at this point, it probably is.
It's redundant because you've already faced the bandits that they dealt with, so they just got ambushed by some guys with clubs.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're still going to need to kidnap people from somewhere. They might not do it at the bridge anymore. But they might still be farther down this road. And I mean, how else am I going to try to figure out what's going on if I don't go there and talk to them? Or try to follow the guy,
I guess you could try to find any other knowledge about the town from people who know things about the town prior to this being a thing, but I'm not sure what they would tell you that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so.
Matham can tell you if you're looking for more information. The two dwarf victims that escaped have gone to go stay at the Black Dragon Inn, which is way over here.
Oh, okay.
It's a goodly little hall, like halfway to Loggerhead. And Sheepfold. He recognizes the Dwiddle name, and he believes there are still members of the Dwiddle family living in Big Town. And there's always the snitch in Big Town. He hears all sorts of weird random things. Freeman Farms was founded a generation ago by a group from Big Town who wanted to own their own land free from halfling laws. And also so they can practice a more non-druidic form of Yondala worship.
Okay. Is there a phone book or something, or do I just walk around asking if anybody knows Dwiddles? I mean, not a phone book, but.
You don't have to necessarily role play through it, but you can make some sort of an investigation roll in town to ask around, hey, could you point me to the Dwiddle house or something? And oh yeah, I know, it's over here, lady. Let's say by now, after the interrogation, it's about midnight-ish.
Well,
and you're, in the middle of this town that's locked down to big people after 10 o'clock until dawn. Matham can send a couple goblin guards with you to escort you down to the workers' gate.
Okay.
Or you can sleep in his office overnight until morning. It depends on what you want to do from this point forward.
Well, How long does it take to get from town to big town?
About an hour. It's like 2 miles.
So it'll be 2 in the morning by the time I get back home?
Yeah. And, like, since, like, by this point, Dead Hand has found the body,
Yeah.
like, events are in motion, so there is a bit of a ticking clock, but you don't know what the clock is ticking for.
Right.
But, like if you were running a kidnapping operation, and then one of your guys got pinched by the big log dogs just a couple miles down the road from you, what would you do?
How does he know he got pinched?
Well, who else would capture someone? One of his guys is missing.
But the other one's dead.
Mm-hmm.
That guy could have run off.
Why?
I don't know.
Like, they were chosen, like, to go out there for a reason. Because, like I said, these are people whose kids and families are at stake, so... They didn't stick their 2 nervous Nelly guys out there to bonk people over the head and have them hauled back to town for who knows what.
Okay, well, the traveling circus kidnapped him to be their new strongman. I don't know what I would do if my smuggling operation guy was taken by the local sheriff. Depends on it depends on a lot of things. What do I need people for? How soon do I need them? Can we just go somewhere else and find another road to take people from? Do we need a particular kind of people? Are there time constraints for that? How powerful is the sorcerer? I mean, there's all kinds of shit that I don't know what the heck he's planning.
And the farmer wouldn't necessarily know either. It's not like these people are just telling all these yokels all their, like, specific details.
Right, which makes me wonder if going to the farms is even necessary. Are those people going to know more than this guy?
Well, you're not going to learn anything if you don't go anywhere. Or you just, like, well, I don't know if I can help these people.
I'm not going to live in the sheriff's office. So I'm definitely going to go somewhere at some point. I mean, technically, for the purpose of helping the sheriff out, if I can get them to go somewhere else, that's done. Well, they're not bothering your area anymore. I do still feel bad about murdering that guy, though.
There's also the tidbit that, like, apparently they ditched 6 people into a fucking well to drown.
I mean, it's their kids, though. People do crazy-ass shit like that when it's about their fucking kids. Mm-hmm. So, I can't really... I mean... Also, there's a sorceress involved there. That's not...
It's extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I guess I'll just sleep in his... Well, no, wait a minute. If I want to go get my friend, I have to go home anyway.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go home if he will give me someone to escort
like I
me.
say, he can send you home with a couple of goblins to get you to the gate without any of the other goblin patrols giving you any grief.
And I'll go home and is everything shut down in Big Town at that point?
No, there's probably the taverns are probably still, like, just about letting out right around the time you roll into town. There's no, like, laws like, 2 o'clock people have to stop drinking kind of shit.
Right.
Taverns go until just people peter out and leave.
Right.
Because most of them do have to get to work at some point, because that's why people in Big Town are there. They're not there for leisure. Did you want to see if you can get Boone before she goes to bed? Or before you go to bed, since you're going to be passing around by the tavern as you go into town to go to your house.
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking, but I figured if... I don't know, I figured she wouldn't... She lives there. She wouldn't still be down in the bar when people are clearing out, because...
She might be like, yeah, it depends on how kind of drinker partier she is.
I mean, if I'm right there, I might pop my head in and see if She was there on my way home.
Okay,
she
well,
was just visible. I don't know that I would go look for her.
For simplicity's sake, she could be like at the main downstairs bar, like, and there's still a few people like drinking, and she's like drunkenly laughing with some human guy, and she's there if you want to like go ahead and go like recruit her to your party or wait till the morning.
I mean, it just seems like what she's. Okay.
She's a psychic character, so you don't actually have to do anything to convince her. You just have to say that your character, like, hey, we're going to be doing this thing, meet me in the morning at this time at my house. And then because, like I said, you control her tactically. It's just you don't role play her.
Okay, so...
But it's assumed that your sidekick will join. You don't have to talk her into coming along with you.
Okay.
That's, like, accepted as writ. You go, girl, sure thing,
Okay. I hope she doesn't say that to me.
No. Girl power. Have this moment, like all the chicks in the Shire all stand next to each other before you go fight the big villain. We got each other's backs.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, so it's still a fact-finding mission, but it could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I'm telling her.
Okay.
Just like, don't worry about it too much, but also don't be too hungover.
Okay, so just show up with her equipment and stuff, in other words, and...
Yeah.
Okay, so... Close scene, morning. As you're stumbling around trying to have whatever passes for coffee in this part of the world, you hear her knock on your door, let herself in. So what's the plan, Nopheria?
That's what she says? Oh man, she's pissed. She's hungover.
She is a little bit, yeah.
She's like, why am I here? Hello?
Well, so I'm not speaking in her voice. I'm just saying, like, this is the gist. It's like, so, okay, so what's the plan of approach here? What are we doing? Are we stabbing someone, or you need me to seduce some guy, or what's...
Well,
I need to borrow some money from Mumsy?
I want to go back to the bridge, and I'm going to do the same thing I did last time, except I'm going to try to use her to do it, because she might not slip in the mud so much.
Okay.
Or both of us, I don't know, however that works. I'm going to try to get close to the bridge and see if I can tell if there's anybody new put up there, or if they've abandoned it, or... Because I'm going to try to get back across the bridge and keep going if there's nobody there.
Okay, so you're going to gather her and just take straight off and not dick around with any other things before you go?
Oh, you mean like go and get more supplies and shit?
You don't necessarily know what kind of supplies you need yet or want?
Right. I mean, I think I have the basic supplies. I need a bludgeoning weapon or something for one of us. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that, like my little survival pack with my rope and my rations is probably my candles, whatever else is in there. Talking to other people. Well, I do want to try to see if I can talk to the, what's their names? The Dwiddles. Oh, yeah, we could go check. We could go do some fact finding in town.
Alright.
Dwiddles and Snitch.
Okay, well, like I said, the Snitch is a Kenku, which is one of the Raven people. I even got a nifty little card showing you what a Kenku looks like, just in case flightless Raven person doesn't get into your brain good enough. Little Raven guy. There's one of those. He's called the Snitch. He's chained to a post right in the middle of Big Town. And the Dwiddles would require an investigation roll to see if you can figure out where they are, and then go speak to them.
Right. So what's that?
Well, which one do you want to do first?
The Dwiddles.
Okay. Well, do you want to make rolls for each one of you? Or does you want her asking around to find the Dwiddles too?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
If we can split up.
Well, I guess we'll have this die be the die representing Boone, and this be the die representing you. Roll them both and see what your investigation rolls are. Investigation is a skill. Well, she rolls an actual 20. Okay, she knows exactly. She already knows where the Dwiddles are. As soon as you say the name, like, oh yeah, this is right around the corner.
All right.
So they live in a little house, just like the other houses in this town, kind of dilapidated and poor, made of wood, straw roof, all that kind of stuff. It's early, so the entire Dwiddle family is here. Papa Dwiddle, Mama Dwiddle, and Baby Dwiddle. You gonna just go knock on the door? Or hang around and wait for one of them to come out? Or it's still morning, it's probably like 8 o'clock by the time you get there.
I would probably just knock on the door and ask to talk to an adult.
Okay. The family has an infant. The mother answers the door. Sees the two of you. Seems a little like intimidated to see a tiefling. And y'all are both decked out with weapons and stuff. Can I help you, ma'am? Mrs.?
So, there's a problem at the farms. We're trying to help, and I know some of their family members went there at some point.
Like 20 years ago, my uncle moved out there. I have some cousins who live out there.
Have you been there? Have you?
She personally has never been there. It's a quaint little town founded by, mostly human and half-elves. Peaceful. They just wanted to get away from the rules of the Shire, since humans and half-elves aren't allowed to own property. They wanted to own their own farms and not have to be subject.
But your part of the family didn't go.
No, some of us didn't want to run the risk. I mean, because there's no protection. If anything happens out there, they are entirely on their own. So my father didn't want to take us, whereas my uncle did want to take his kids along with the group that went out to Big Town. But we've stayed in contact with each other over the years. They'll come into town, for certain, druidic holidays and festivals.
Okay. How many people do they know from there? Do they know other people that live there, or is it just their relatives?
Just their relatives.
Okay.
She's got a cousin named Wallach, and then his sister has a nephew. I mean, has a son, so Wallach has a nephew. So she has two first cousins and a second cousin.
Well, one of them's the guy in the prison, right?
Yeah. So his sister is still unaccounted for, and apparently he also has a nephew that's back in the town. And since that sister is married to the guy you killed, then the nephew would be the son of the guy you killed.
Right.
And his name is Joba.
The son?
Joba Dwiddle. Or no, Joba Cletus, because the son of the Cletus. Since his wife took a different name.
How old is he?
8.
Okay, so he's probably missing. Or
he might be one of the kids gone with the glitch.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And what is the woman's name?
Let's find out. Randomly. Ardena Cletus.
Okay. Well, I don't know what else to ask this woman. So,
Okay. There's really not a whole lot of information.
and I can tell her
glean
that,
out of that.
her cousin's in lockup, and
Do you want to?
it's all my fault. Well, I don't know, because if I tell her that, and not the fact that I killed the other cousin's husband, or she's gonna go find that out from the guy that's in lockup.
Yeah. They might eventually hear that they have relatives in jail anyway. It's just the morning after the guy got brought in, after all.
Right, I know.
But you don't necessarily want to be the one bearing that news, considering your connection to the case.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
I want to thank her for her time.
All right. So you want to scuttle off, and you want to see if you can glean any from the snitch. The snitch is entirely random. You give the snitch a coin, he'll tell you a random rumor.
Okay.
Maybe it has something to do with what you're doing. Maybe it doesn't.
Okay, that's good. That's fine, because I don't have to think of questions.
All right. So, you'll both wander up into the center of town. You can either give them a copper coin, a silver coin, or a gold coin. You'll need to deduct it from your coins on your
Does
character
he
sheet.
care? Is it?
It varies, like the range of the random rumor that you generate.
And so I have.
You have gold coins. And you don't have any change.
Right. So I could just give him a gold coin.
All right. All right. So as I said, the snitch is a sad-looking raven guy, chained by a leg to a post in the middle of the muddy little crossroads in the very center of town, surrounded by a bathhouse and a funeral house. And what else the other thing was there? What was 6? Oh, and another pub. The more hard-edged pub that you don't get a guild discount at. So it's not the pub you tend to go to. It's the rougher pub.
Now, do I have bathing capabilities in my house, or is
Yeah.
that my option for bathing?
Yeah, like real basic kind of stuff, but if you want like a real big, proper hot bath, yeah, that's what the bathhouse is for.
Okay.
So anyway, if you give him a gold coin, you can roll a 1 die 4.
Which one's a 4?
The one that looks like a little pyramid.
This one?
Yeah. A 1?
Nice. Yeah.
Alright. And a jumble, you hand him a coin, and a croaking jumble of recorded words from other people's voices, because Kenku used mimicry to recreate vocalizations so they can speak. Tells you that the guild has a secret facility staffed with half-orcs somewhere in the region.
Okay.
It's a random rumor. You can't do it twice in a row, but you could have Boone throw a coin his way for another one, or do you feel like, this isn't going to get me what I'm wanting?
No, fuck it. Why not? At that point.
Okay. Roll another die 4 then. Three. Lumberjacks reports spiders infesting the Feywood.
Like, when he says spiders...
He means like fantasy world spiders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
See, the Feywood Forest actually does somewhat cut a little bit south of this area, so that might be relevant, or it could just be a hazard warning for your journeys.
Like, oh, fun, let's go kill some spiders. Like,
or no, we're going to go around this forest and keep trekking south. Okay. So, you got a couple rumors.
Okay.
You talked to one of the Dwiddles.
Okay.
Let's say it's getting close to like 10 in the morning. No, 10 in the morning.
Okay.
Are you going to waste any more time, or are y'all going to head off for the bridge?
Nah, I think we got to go check the bridge out now.
Okay. Well, you get there probably, it's what, 5-10 miles away, traveling at an average pace. You get 3 miles an hour, so you're a little over 3 hours away from that. So you'd get there like around 1 in the afternoon-ish. Let's switch back to having the bigger map since you've gotten away from the town now. And I'll take my Kenku back. Thank you. Okay. Well, once again, so you're approaching from the side of the river where there wasn't a camp, so how do you want to ascertain whether or not there's anybody on the other side?
I don't know. I can't see across the river, even if I'm looking, since I know where the camp was, I can't.
Well, you know where it is now, yeah.
Right.
But there's a bunch of tall grasses and stuff, but you can, yeah. But, there's no sign of a smoke from a campfire, I can say that much.
Okay.
You don't hear anything.
Okay. So as we approach the bridge and we're kind of nosing around...
You want to just try to snake through the covered bridge and just stick in the shadows and just try to... Okay, well, I need some stealth rolls from both of you. Oh, I can actually, before we go any further, I guess I should, like, roll some initiative.
Okay.
Make an initiative roll for roll your die 20. It'll work for both of them. You both characters will move on the same turn. You can decide who goes first, but that way, just for simplicity's sake, on your turn you can move both your characters.
6. Did you say the line's at the bottom?
Yeah, so that's a 6. Okay. All right. So you have an initiative of 6. All right. So like I said, I'm gonna need some stealth rolls from you two ladies to see how well y'all creep across this covered wooden bridge.
Okay.
So there's be die 20s plus whatever stealth bonuses the characters have as a skill.
Okay.
She rolled a 5 and you rolled a... it's hard to see that in this light. 4?
14.
14, okay. Well, you did well. She, like, trips over a loose board on the floor as y'all... Makes some loud creaking noise, but nothing seems to happen from it. You get to the edge of the bridge and peek out, and there doesn't seem to be anyone there. There's no body lying where the body would have been lying from yesterday.
Okay.
So, but the campsite still seems to be unmolested, at least from the little bit you had looked at it yesterday. Nothing seems to have changed. Everything's quiet. Like I said, it's about 1 in the afternoon.
Okay, well now I'm going to go look around the campsite and wagon and whatever the hell else is over there.
Okay, well, there's a couple of broken wagons all kind of shoved together into like a big pile.
Okay.
There's a variety of trade goods, that like some rolls of cloth and stuff that are just like, you know, left in a pile. Some foodstuffs, maybe like a cask of wine or two, all like left jumbled up, just all tossed together. Make an investigation roll for yourself.
Which is what?
It's an investigation skill.
Yeah.
Okay, so roll a die 20 and add whatever your skill bonus is.
I don't know if I have a skill bonus.
It'd be intelligence and a proficiency if you're proficient in it. So intelligence bonus is what?
Intelligence is plus 3.
And then you got a proficiency in the skill?
Yeah.
So that'd be plus 5. Plus whatever that is.
Well, that's a 19 anyway.
Okay, well you rolled really well. A little bit past the heap of wrecked cart, there's a kind of stone that looks like awkwardly placed on the ground, and it looks like someone had kind of like hastily like dug it up, buried something under it, and then put it back down. Do you want to investigate under this rock of interest?
If we are strong enough between the two of us, yes, I would.
Yeah, it's not that big of a rock.
Okay.
Between two girls, you should be able to do it, even with that fantastic strength. Okay. Well, you can roll on a random treasure table to determine what you find. It looks like all the treasure and valuables that have been taken off these guys have been dumped in a big sack and buried under the stone. So let's see what you find. If I can find the fucking chapter. Here we go. Treasure. Alright. So for coins, I need you to roll 6 dice 6. If you don't have enough dice 6, which I don't believe, here's an additional 3 for you.
Jesus. It's 23.
23 times 100. So 2,300 copper coins. You can write that down somewhere. Let's see. Treasure found. It's a big bulging sack of coins. 2,300 copper coins.
Okay.
Now roll 3 dice 6.
Is there a bank in town where I can change that into smaller coins?
Actually, there is. The guild does offer banking services, and you're a guild member.
That's a lot of coins to
It
be
is.
looking around.
Yeah, it's a
And I know how
logistic
big
issue
those
that
are,
D&D's always had is all the fucking money you're finding.
Okay, that's a 7.
7. So 700 silver coins.
That's more reasonable.
700 silver.
Okay.
And then 2 dice 6.
That is
5. 50 gold coins.
Alright.
And then I need you to roll a percentage dice, and I guess we're going to teach you how to roll percentages. Take your 2 die 10 that you have.
Take mine. Wait, what?
These are 10-sided die. One of them has double numbers.
Oh.
That's the tens digit, and the other one is the singles digit. This is how you generate a number between 1 and 100.
Okay. So I roll both of them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so the 0, 0, the double digit one is what? 10? What does that say?
No, the double digit is 70. The single digit is 1.
Okay, so that's a roll of 71.
Okay.
Alright, roll 2 dice 6.
That's 5.
Okay, so you found 5 gems worth 50 gold each.
Okay.
And then you get to roll 1 die 4 times on magic item table B.
1 die.
Roll a die 4.
Okay.
3? Okay. And you finished writing down the gems you got?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so I need you to roll percentage dice 3 times. The 2 die 10 percentage dice.
That's 0, 0, and 1.
So that would be 1.
Yeah.
Okay, you found a potion of greater healing. Roll again.
That looks like 80 and 0.
So 80. Found an elemental gem.
$29.
A potion of resistance. So 2 potions and a gem. A special magical gem. Yeah, on the back of the cards it tells you what the item does. Except for the cheap paper one.
Jeez. 4d4 plus 4?
Yeah. The greater healing is more for higher level characters. It's like the very first healing potion you can get is one of the strongest healing potions you can have. It'd almost be better to hold on to it and then sell it. Because you can buy yourself a couple of regular healing potions and still have money to spare. And that's true with a lot of magic items. Is like you can always, if you don't want them, you can always hold on to them and sell them at a magic shop or try to find an individual buyer for the more rare, pricey things. Not everyone's always going to have the 80,000 gold to buy what you have on you, kind of a thing. So sometimes it takes some searching to find a buyer. Now, what does the potion of resistance do?
Potion of Resistance. When you drink this potion, you gain resistance to one type of damage for 1 hour. The DM chooses the type or determines it randomly from the options below.
What's the die roll for that?
D10.
Okay, I'm going to roll a D10. Let's see what kind of potion of resistance you got. 10.
Okay, it's Thunder.
Okay, so if someone uses concussive thunder damage on you, there are spells like that that is someone use like a concussive thunderclap kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you only take half damage from it.
Okay. You put these in here like this.
However you want.
So it says what they do.
If you find that helpful.
Okay.
And then when you use it, you can just hand it back to me.
Does this go on this side or the other way? It's going to be difficult. This one first. Okay.
Okay, so you'll find the little treasure stash. No one has come back to remand the camp. The body is gone. As I say, it's about a little after 1 in the afternoon now. After you've done a little looking around. How do you and Boone want to proceed?
What is the terrain like here?
Mostly flat meadowland. It's early summer, so grass is growing. Everything's nice and green. There's like a lot of wildflowers and such to the north of the road in the area called the Wild Meadowland. To the south, it's kind of just more just plain grassland.
Are there any bushes or anything? If I wanted to try to hop off the road and hide, is there any?
There's small, like little bit. There's little bits of foliage here and there, but it's not forested by any means. It's just natural growth. So in a natural field, you might see a couple trees sticking up here and there, a little cluster of thorn bushes or berry bushes of some sorts, and the occasional like random rock. And the grass itself is also like untended wild grasses, so that they're not
tall.
Yeah. Waist high, at least for a human.
Okay.
So you can always, try to hide in the grass alongside the road if that was your concern.
And then, how dry is the road? Like, could I hear a horse
Yes,
coming?
you could. This road was built by the Old Kingdom, so like in patches it's shoddy and you see little bits of grass growing between, but for the most part it is cobbled paved, so it is hard. There would be kind of clopping sounds if someone came down the road.
What's my visibility down the road? Is it hilly? Can I only see a little ways?
Just like in real life, there's natural ripples to the land, so your visibility is probably only a couple miles.
That's a good amount, though.
Yeah. But it's clear and relatively flat, and the road's, cut and paved by, people of a superior civilization that's lost. With the time and the resources to build things right.
Okay, so I want to walk down that main road towards the farm.
Okay. You're going to go at like a cautious pace in case you need to hide, in case you hear anything coming down the road, I'm assuming is you're asking for all this?
Cautious enough.
Okay.
I'm not trying to hide right now, but be on the lookout. Or
you're not going to just hang around at the bridge waiting to see if anyone comes?
Well, it's 1.
Yeah.
They said he usually comes around noontime and dusk. So, yeah, I don't really see the point in waiting around.
Okay. Well then, as you proceed down the road, as you get closer, you start to get to where the village road turns off. You start to see like some actual croplands to the south of the road, past just the natural open field. And as you get to the edge of the crops, it's like corn or wheat or something tall. A fox darts out in front of y'all, crosses the road, and behind it, chasing it, are 2 rabbits. But you notice that riding the rabbits, and the rabbits have little harnesses on them, are a couple little pixies. dressed like knights.
Okay.
They notice the two of you and stop. And rear their bunnies around and look up. Halt!
They're telling me to halt?
Yes.
Okay.
State your business in our land. These little fellas.
Yeah, they look terrifying.
Yeah, riding their little bunnies.
The bunnies are cute.
Yeah. They're asking you what you're doing here.
I know. I'm just wondering if I want to look at that one while I'm talking to it.
You are fey-blooded, so in a kind of esoteric... Oh, not esoteric. It's not really the right word. In a way, you are like a distant cousin to these things, because you are part of the greater family of fairy.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to look at it like that.
Yeah, you'd still be considered fairy-kin to them. Half-elves, they consider you very watered down, and like you've like most of the magic's gone, but they'll still like they'll give you a shot. They'll be much more friendly to you than they will be your tiefling companion, despite her cleavage.
What about her cleaver? I know, she has no cleaver.
No.
Just swords. Okay, well, I would just tell them the truth. I would say that, investigating the tales of a witch or sorceress of some sort who has, enamored these children away with her, and just trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about... Okay, they tell you they're a little spooked by your mentioning of this. If they're going to the village, they tell you that Freeman Farms is being drawn into the Dead Shire. And we're pulling our people out of the area to move them north of the road.
North of the road, huh?
A witch? What do you know of this witch? We haven't seen anything of a witch down there.
They're asking me that?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, so it's just the guy that you've seen?
Do you mean the half-orc on the horse?
A half-orc? Yeah. That guy.
Well, he's no witch. Yes, he's part of the reason why we're making everyone leave, all of our people leave this side of the field.
Right, because he is...
The village has become corrupted and is being drawn into the Dead Shire.
Right, which I don't know what that means.
No, you don't. They don't elaborate, even if you ask about what the fuck that means. There's no elaboration on that.
his name is Dead Hand. So...
And he serves this witch?
Yes, I believe that there's a witch who enamored the children away from the town.
Well, witches are vague, and they're all over the place. Many things be called a witch. What do you know about this witch?
Her name's Greyheart. She's ensorceling children. And she wants prisoners. 44 prisoners.
Well, that would explain the people that have been gathering at the church there in the town, if they're looking for prisoners. The only Greyheart I know is that the daughter of the Archdruidess of the Green World is named Greyheart, but I don't know why she would be involved in anything like this. The Archdruidess is, one of the primary figures of the Sealy court.
Okay, well... am I in danger of being dead shired? I'm trying. What I want to ask is like, is there an energy suck in the farm? Like, am I going to be ensorcelled by going near there, or am deadened, or?
Nothing like that. It's not going there. In and of itself won't kill you. The fairies do say that there's there's like a lot of activity with the people there today, and they're hearing a lot of hammering and such, and other noises of bustling activity, like they've been doing something frantically today. And that's also part of why they're like finally like, okay, we're just getting all of our fairy friends out of these crop fields and out of the fields around this town, because it's being drawn into the dead Shire, whatever that means. He does recognize the name of Greyheart as the name of the daughter of the Wood Elf Archdruid of the Green World Forest.
Okay. Alright, well, so are they going to let me pass?
They will let you pass,
okay.
And they will move on. Unless you want to try to talk them into accompanying you or something.
Well, I don't see why they would want to do that.
That's why it would take some rolls to
Oh.
try to convince them to come along if you wanted some fairy backup, since they seem to have some idea of the lay of the land, even if they are kind of vague and whimsical as to how they describe things.
Well, I mean, what are the chances of me getting them to? I mean, they're small. Can they spy?
They can fly. They're tiny creatures that can fly and cast limited amount of magic.
Can I get them to go look at stuff? Like, go fly over there and look at that without being noticed?
Maybe. If you can convince them to face the danger with you. This wouldn't just be a roll. I would kind of like need you to come up with some sort of angle as to like how she's going to convince them why they should come and help you with this quest.
Right. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if...
Well, they're fairies dressed up as knights riding bunnies. And this is a fantasy world.
Okay.
Or you can just pass on by. Like, I'll handle this at the ferries. Thanks for the information. I'll keep my head up. It's not necessary. As you're saying, it's something you could do before you leave them beyond.
I'm thinking about it. So I don't actually know anything about fairies. And dressed as knights riding bunnies doesn't really tell me anything. Maybe they're a group of fairies all dress as knights and ride bunnies. I don't know. Is there a risk of other places nearby being drawn into the Dead Shire?
This is as far north as the Dead Shire has yet stretched.
So they're figuring if they just go a little farther north, they're probably cool.
This up to the side of the road, yeah. Now that implies that the Dead Shire is something south, and that is also what you know where Greyheart took the children that she took, was somewhere into the south.
Yeah.
And so how that may or may not interrelate to all this, who knows?
I mean, I can't think of a good reason why they would want to risk.
So you're just going to let them go on their way?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Don't know what else to do with them. But I do want to go try to sneak around the periphery of the farms and see if I can see what they're doing.
Okay.
Without getting caught.
Well, it's just a little bit further down the road, then there's this little turn and a little lane that turns and leads off to the village through some fields. There is plenty of cover as you approach the village because of all the cropland around it. It's basically the road just curves and goes down, and just after the curve there's just buildings straight down it, and other than that it's a real just simple layout. There's no side streets or anything, just two rows of houses along a lane. At the end of the lane is a well. And the bigger building at the end of the lane on the southern side of it is like some sort of temple church building. for the locals in their worship of Yandala.
Okay, so in this little drawing here, this is the
well would be at the very end, and
this
then
is the well.
there'd be a well, and then there'd be a church,
Church
like right
is
about there, yeah,
here.
whatever that building is, yeah.
Okay.
And there'd just be a little row of houses, and then it's all surrounded by crops.
Can I sneak around the back of the houses
Yeah.
and like look?
You want to do some stealth rolly?
Yeah, and I want to also listen for hammering or any of the like noises, the bustling noises, to see if there's
You do hear some hammering as you get
a
close.
place I should go look in particular would be the source of the hammering noises.
Okay. So, you're going to try, what, sneak around towards the church, or you're specifically trying to aim yourself towards the hammering? It sounded like people hammering wood or something.
Yeah, I would go for the noise.
Okay, which conveniently is out back behind of the church.
Okay.
Alright, so we need some stealth rolls for our two ladies.
Okay. Which is what?
Die 20s and your stealth skills.
One of each?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's an 8 and a 13.
Okay, and what are your bonuses for stealth?
Hers, she's an 8.
She got the 8.
Yeah. Stealth is +4.
Okay, so she rolled a 12.
And mine is
Probably +5.
+5.
Okay. Alright, it's just stealthy enough that no one seems to notice. He's sneaking around. Out back behind of the church building, you see, 4 commoners hammering on a cart. They're trying to hammer, to attach some wheels on what looks to be a freshly built horse cart out back behind the church.
Okay.
They're also, as you can see, wearing those odd hooded outfits that looks like stuff has been hastily sewn on to kind of give them an animal man kind of thing if you weren't looking up at them close or something. Similar to the 2 guys that were at the bridge yesterday.
Alright.
From behind the church, that's about all you can see. There's just, yeah, the 4 guys who are hammering away trying to slap together a horse cart. There's another horse cart that looks finished that's parked a little off to the side of the building.
Okay. Is there anywhere a way to see inside the church, or is it?
You would need to make
Closed.
another stealth roll to like sneak up closer to it, because I mean the crops don't obviously come right up to the wall of the building. There's a little gap of space, obviously, so you'd have to like angle yourself to like sneak up when they're not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So that would require at least one more stealth roll unless you want to tell your tiefling friend to hold back and wait. It's more risk of failure if both of y'all are rolling.
Okay.
Because if one of you succeed, but then if the other one fails, it's a failure for both of you because they might have called
Okay.
attention to both of your positions.
Alright. Well, can she keep an eye out
Yeah.
and warn me? That's a 10.
+5. Good enough. Okay, you can sneak up,
5.
look through one of the little windows of the building. Inside, you see the cloaked man standing over by like a pulpit kind of thing at the back of the room. Over where the pews would have been, they've like all the chairs and stuff have been like pushed out of the way, and you see a group of what you were guessing are your traveling merchant prisoners. There's a total of 9 of them.
Okay.
And there are 2 more of the commoners in there with them, with clubs, like they're keeping on them. Like the prisoners, they're all tied up together, like just kind of sat out on the floor. Like I say, you got a couple guards smacking their clubs into their hands.
And the cloaked dude is just standing?
And he's just standing there at the pulpit. It looks like he might be talking to one of the guards. You can't really hear because you're looking through a window.
Okay.
So that leaves one of the commoners unaccounted for, still somewhere that you can't see. And that's it. Most of the people who are supposed to be in this town are out back working on building a cart. Prisoners are in the church with the cloaked man dead hand. And 2 more of the commoners.
Is the well their only water source that they threw the bodies in? Because that seems kind of daft.
Yeah.
Yeah, these people have all lost their minds. I can be able to talk to them. All right. Well, what time is it?
It's getting up to sunset as you're... Like, there's still sunlight. You've maybe got like another hour of sunlight before it gets dark.
Can we camp overnight?
Yeah. You maybe be able to like hide out in one of the houses that's not being used, or you can pull yourself a little further away into the fields and just squat somewhere where you can... It'd be hard to both keep an eye and also like be totally unnoticeable.
Yeah. No, I wasn't thinking about keeping an eye.
Well, what are you thinking?
Scouting a little bit farther south, seeing if it looks like there's any kind of natural trails or paths leading that direction.
You
and
could
then
do
find
that.
somewhere to camp out. Because it's... I mean, I can see pretty well in the dark, but...
You both have dark vision.
Still need to sleep.
Yeah, you've both been like walking. You've spent most of your, like I said, you can travel about 25 to 30 miles in a day on average before you start having to roll for exhaustion. And you just traveled at least 15 to 20 miles.
But I'm not expecting them to finish their carts and get going at night either. I'm expecting them to continue doing that in the morning. So I don't have to be right next to the place. I could go a little bit farther away and...
well, if you want to go see if you can go south and see if you can find some hidden trails.
While it's light?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's,
And also look for a good place to camp.
Well, in both cases, that would require a survival roll. First, you're going to see if you want to find a road. So roll a survival roll to see if you can find any sort of hidden trails or paths. That's, once again, one of your skills, survival.
Okay.
And to make a roll for it, you'll roll a die 20. And you don't want to know what the DC is, so...
I don't. And her too, or just me?
You can have her also do it. I don't think she's skilled in survival. No.
She's not.
So she's would just be making just a raw wisdom check.
Which is... even. Okay.
And yours would be whatever your wisdom plus your proficiency bonus.
So like 3?
Plus 3.
Alright.
16.
16.
Alright. A couple miles south, just past the crops, you do see what broken ruins of what seems to be a little road. That's kind of where you don't know where it might have originally come off of this road actually, but where this veers, it originally continued on and then went on down this way.
Okay.
But of course, you can't travel that far down to see. But there's a little path that kind of leads south towards this river.
Okay.
Probably a bit straighter than that.
Well, it's in pencil. We can fix it.
Yeah.
Also, I can't see from here. I just see the start of it, so I'm like, it
Yeah,
goes that
there's
way.
a path that heads south, and you know how to
I
get
don't
to
really
it.
know.
So you're gonna set up camp.
Yeah.
Okay. Your passive perceptions. Well, that's not even say. As the two of you are setting up camp, you both start hearing a bunch of noises coming through the fields of like something large pushing its way. You hear some voices and grumbling and like, "Ho, boys! Ho, lads! Get this shit moving!" All that kind of crap. You have a little bit of notice to try to make a couple of stealth rolls to hide before two wagons loaded full of prisoners and commoners come popping out of the fields and start going down that path.
Okay.
So, stealth rolls.
2 of us?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I only got an 8.
Plus your stealth of 12, so 5, so you got a 13.
Okay, she got an 18.
Okay, alright, you'll both manage to duck. Luckily you didn't start a campfire or anything, but you
Luckily we're slow.
So,
dicking around.
You duck behind some bushes or some rocks at the edge of this broken down trail and watch as they get the 2 carts aligned. The cart in the lead is being driven by the cloaked man, who, as you can also see him closer now, and you can actually see under his hood, it is a half-orc man. You can tell by his facial expression, his facial features. He's got those little kind of wincy half-tusks and stuff like that. And it seems that all the commoners are there. They didn't look like they left anyone behind in the town, and they got all these prisoners bundled up and separated into 2 groups.
So there's 7 commoners, 9 prisoners, and a half-orc.
Yeah. Spread across 2 carts. Each cart's being pulled by a draft horse. And they're just moving at a steady clip. It's like they seem to be in a hurry. They're getting the fuck out of there.
Okay. You said their carts are being pulled by what?
Draft horses. So there's 2 draft horses.
Okay.
1 for each cart.
Okay. Well, I guess I have to try to follow them. Am I gonna pass out from exhaustion at some point, or?
Yeah, y'all are both kind of at the end of your days, so like you can push on for several hours trying to keep up with them, but as each hour you're going to have to make exhaustion rolls. And yeah, that'll have increasing. If you fail them, you get increasing levels of detrimental effects to you as you go along for every extra hour you push yourself past this point to try to follow them.
Well, do these people seem enchanted enough that they're going to push through? Because they've been working all day building these carts.
Yeah, but they're not actually walking now. They're in the carts. So as long as the drivers are rested and the horses are rested, but the people riding in the back, it doesn't really matter to them as much. They're not going to get well rested, but they're not trying to recover from a fight or anything either.
Can I sneak up in front and put something in the road to sabotage one of the carts?
Like what? Look at your equipment list. You got all that shit in that backpack. You got 1,000 fucking ball bearings. You got a gem that explodes into a fire elemental.
Well,
you could just toss it in front of them and suddenly have a fucking fire elemental fucking pop up right in front of the lead cart. That would stop them.
I don't know.
You have arrows. You have both of you people have fucking short bows. You could shoot the horses.
I don't want to shoot the horses.
But they're evil horses.
Rude. They're not evil.
They have glowing red eyes and evil iron barding.
You didn't say that. You said they were draft horses.
They're perfectly normal horses. But someone branded "fuck you" on them. Fuck you, Nopheria.
No, they didn't.
Branded right there on their sides.
No, they didn't.
It's just like a My Little Pony cutesy mark.
A crowbar, a hammer. I don't know what pitons are.
Pythons. Those are the things you use to hammer into a cliff so you can secure a rope on it and climb up a cliff.
Okay.
It's like a metal stake.
50 feet of rope, rations, tinderbox, water skin. That's not super helpful in this situation. I mean, the problem is, I want to sabotage one of the carts to slow them down so that I can take a nap. But...
in close proximity to them while they're fiddling with trying to fix their carts in the middle of the night. That'd be something damaging enough to give you a full, like, 8-hour span where you can completely rest, not have to worry about being caught.
No, just slow them down. It's not going to take up the whole 8 hours, but it'll give me some advantage tomorrow. Maybe. As, you know, can I drag a dead tree branch across the road? I don't...
But they're already, like, coming out ahead. Like, there's really not much you can do to get in front of them and do anything complicated.
That's what I was asking in the first place. Like, am I able to, like, get up there?
For real minimal kind of shit, like, to, like, run and just throw something, but you're not going to have time to do anything with any amount of intricate
because if they
planning.
notice me...
and anything you would do would be noticeable, probably, if it's damaging their cart under those kind of circumstances.
Me, then it doesn't... matter
help you,
anyway.
yeah.
No, because then I still would just have to fight a bunch of them.
Yeah. Really, at this bet, your best bet would be toss the fucking elemental gem you got at them if you're wanting to stop them in a way that won't just lead you immediately just being stomped to death.
Well, no. I mean, I want to be able to follow them.
Well, you can push and see how long you both can go before exhaustion just forces you to stop. See how much further down towards the river you get.
Once you're stopped by exhaustion,
you have to fucking
still just
stop.
8 hours though.
Yeah, because
a
long rest fixes everything. It's a simplified system in that way. I mean, you also completely heal after a long rest. That's not realistic at all.
8 hours is not a long rest.
It's not a realistic game in that fashion. This is a fantasy world. This thing's got to be streamlined and simplified in a few ways, just for simplicity's sake of play.
Okay, and what if I...
Or you can let them go. You know where they're going and how they're getting there. You can go back and investigate the town, or you can go back to Hampshire and see if you like. We're going to need more people for this, or I'm going to need some horses or something to be able to travel faster because I'm pursuing people like this. Or see what information else you might be able to find. You found out a little bit more about Greyheart, if it's the same Greyheart that's the daughter of the Elven Archdruidess. There might be some stuff to learn there.
How good am I at tracking?
That would be your survival skill, so you are at least proficient in it.
Okay.
There's not much in the way of there's not really. The road isn't obscured. I mean, as long as they stick to the path that you found, they're probably going to stay on that path.
Yeah, but I'm thinking the amount of time. First of all, there's 8 hours of sleeping. And then I don't really know what I'm going to find in the town. It's probably the same shit I already know. It seems like wasting time to go investigate that.
Okay.
Then also to travel all the way back here to get horses is the time I would save ultimately going after it. Because I don't know how long this road goes.
Yeah.
And I don't know when they might branch off of it.
Yeah.
Or when
they
go into a forest full of
fucking spiders. The best you can do then is just push
spiders.
yourself as far as you can into the night, and then you're just going to have to stop and rest and get up in the morning and just try to catch up with them. Because at some point they are going to have to stop so that their animals can rest. So maybe if you're lucky, you can close the gap, or at least stay close enough behind them that you can still maintain tracking them until they finally get to where they're going and stop, and you can catch up for the right way.
All right.
So.
All right. I'll try to do that then.
All right. Well, every mile we go down, like see, it's 2 miles an hour. You're going to have to be going full speed to catch up. So you're going to be able to make 3 miles an hour. So you'll be able to go 3 boxes for every hour you roll here. So to get down to this point and stay right behind them, you're going to need Constitution saves from both of y'all.
Okay. Which is what?
Okay, up here, you know that box that's got all your savings throws.
Oh,
And
so it's a what?
Constitution.
Constitution is just dead even.
On both of them?
Hers is a +1.
Okay, well, that's what you get. So for you, for your first exhaustion roll.
Oh, I don't roll both of them?
You can if you want at the same time, or you can roll them separately.
No, I mean me and her.
Yeah.
Okay.
13 and what?
6.
Okay, so she passes hers, but you get level 1 exhaustion. Okay, so that means at this point you have disadvantage on ability checks until you go to sleep.
Okay.
For your second hour, for another 3 squares down. Roll again.
Okay. That's an 8 and a 5. Hers is a 5. Mine's an 8.
Okay.
That's pretty bad.
More exhaustion. She starts to get exhausted. Her really checks. Your speed is now cut in half. Do you want to keep going? You're falling behind, but you can still keep pushing yourself.
I don't know, man. We should probably just sleep right now.
How far down are you? 6 down from the town. So you're about there.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're way before you exhaust yourself to death.
Yeah, I know, but
in order for her, she's going to have to slow herself down a bit to keep pace with you, unless she just gets up ahead of you. But I'm assuming you're going to want to have them stay together.
yeah.
Okay, so do you stop there to rest out the night, or do you push more?
No, because I'm getting farther behind anyway. I can go faster after I've slept.
All right.
Try to catch back up. And maybe they also stopped and took a break at some point while I was asleep.
How many miles are we away from the river? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's 6 squares.
6 miles away?
Unless the road's...
No, it's pretty much a straight path straight to the river. Yeah, it's still it's still a bit too far and dark. You don't really can't really see anything that's along the riverside yet. You're not even only just vaguely familiar with the topography of the land to even know that there's a river should be somewhere up ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like you've ever laid eyes on it yourself. Okay, well. So you stop, you set up camp, and next week we'll pick back up with our little trek to see if you can catch up with these prisoners and villagers. In the next exciting episode of The Last Shire. Thanks for watching. And be sure to hit like and subscribe.